Basically, when I perform, my style is that I use one keyboard instead of like the old tradition of using many keyboards. My concept is to use one very powerful master controller, and the one that I'm using today is the Kurzweil K2600 keyboard. And what's cool about the way that I have it set up, if you notice, is that I have a very interesting looking stand, and it's made by a guy in Holland whose name is Patrick Slates, and he's a master stand builder. Matter of fact, I have a few of these stands, and what's cool about it is that I can do the complete rotation. So as I'm playing, I can smile at that part of the crowd, or I can turn. And I've gotten very good at kind of like keeping my hands on the keys active while I'm kind of pushing, so it almost looks, hopefully, a little bit like magic. So I can smile it. Anyway, and a lot of people ask me what this little knob is that they see me tweaking on the keyboard, and that's actually my master volume knob. So if the entire rig is too loud, I can just use this handy little knob and turn the whole thing down. The next thing to notice is all the pedals on the floor. There's a lot of pedals, and I've got to be extremely careful when I walk, because things can get very complicated, especially when I'm doing these fancy spins. So I've practiced my dancing quite a bit. So what we've got going here is basically my pedal system is almost duplicated in two spots. I've got this pedal, which is used a lot for like a wah-wah type effect on leads. I've got the one that's on my right, which is used for like a Leslie organ simulation. I've got this one right in front of me, which is a damper pedal for sustain. And then I've got this one, which is extremely important on my left, which is the program change pedal. So the way that I can play one keyboard and have all the different sounds is because as I'm playing along, I can just click on this pedal, and when I press it, the entire sound changes. This one pedal is the one that sends commands to all my instruments to change the complete sound. So every module could go to a completely different patch. So, and before we move to the modules, I'll show you this little device. This thing that I keep right in front of me is called a Music Pad Pro. It's designed by a company called Freehand Systems, and it's basically a computer. It's like a digital tablet that you can write on, and I use it to display, you know, like notes and standard musical notation, or just any kind of like little reminders. I might say on it A0, meaning the last A in the key has a sample on it of some weird vocal effect, or I might say the top octave has strings. So I use it as little reminders. Keyboard world can get very complex sometimes. There's a lot to remember. So my little digital tablet functions nicely for that. And this I can turn the page on just by touching it. So sometimes you'll see me play, and I'll just reach out and touch it, and it actually changes the page. If I don't want to touch it and my hands are busy as I'm reading something on it, that's what this pedal on the floor is for. So that's my pedal system on this side. And if I move over here and I'm facing the audience, I actually have the same pedal system except for the program change on my music pad. Then I just have to touch it. So that's what's happening on this side. Beyond that, in back of me is an entire world of a lot of power. Let's see how you're going to sneak in there. Just take a look. This is my rack. And this rack has all the different synthesizers that I use. On top is a Korg Karma. And I don't actually have my hands on the keys during the performance, but because of the magic of MIDI, I have a MIDI cable connected into this whole world, and as I play in the master controller, everything gets triggered. So, and the Korg Karma being one of those. So you're hearing a lot of the sounds of this, for instance, but you never see me actually coming back here and jamming. So, and then here, you've got a whole lot of racks. Actually, some of these things are backups. What I use in the performance is I use two Kurzweil 2600R fully loaded racks. I use a fully loaded Triton rack, and then I also have a backup Kurzweil and I have a backup Triton. And in my big case, which is not visible at the moment, we have a backup Karma as well. And then, very important to my system, is a power protector. So if the power goes down and everybody loses power, I don't. I guess it's about 20 minutes that I have to, that all my sounds and all my samples in my keyboards and in my racks will remain. So when everybody's out of power, the keyboards will go on. And then the final thing is I have my mixer, my 16-channel Mackie mixer, and that just takes the audio input of all the sound, and I send that over to the boys at the front of house and the monitor guy, and that's about it. Actually, that's not it. One other thing. I have to explain this box in back of me, since people ask me what this thing is. Because sometimes I'll be playing, I'll be going like this and messing with stuff. What this is, it's a little headphone mixer, and instead of depending on our trusty monitor engineer for everything, I let him do his thing, but then if I need to have like the drums or the guitar or the keyboards a little bit louder or softer, I have my own control of it. So as a keyboard player, I kind of like to hear a mix of the sound, a balanced mix. Maybe the keyboard's just a little bit hotter. So that's what I'm constantly like working for in my ears, and I just use this to, you know, to have my own control. It's something I wanted for many tours and finally kind of pushed, and now it's here. And that's about it. See you at the show.